Be critical. Question the validity and applicability of studies. Being critical. Questioning the validity and applicability of studies in Chapter 2. Thesis writing. A strong review of related literature, RRL, goes beyond summarizing existing studies. It requires critical analysis, examining the validity, reliability, applicability, and limitations of previous research. By critically evaluating sources, researchers can highlight gaps, inconsistencies, and areas needing further investigation, strengthening their study's foundation. This section provides practical strategies for being critical in Chapter 2, discussing how to assess study validity, methodological soundness, biases, and applicability to the research topic. Why being critical is essential in Chapter 2a. Avoids blind acceptance of research. Not all studies are equally reliable. Some may have flaws in methodology, sample size, or bias. Helps in distinguishing high-quality studies from weak or outdated ones. B. Strengthens the research justification. Identifying gaps or inconsistencies in existing studies supports the need for new research. Demonstrates academic rigor by questioning assumptions and findings. C. Helps in developing a strong theoretical framework. Ensures that the most relevant and credible theories support the study. Avoids relying on misleading or weak research as a foundation. How to critically evaluate studies in Chapter 2a. Assess the study's credibility. Who conducted the study? Is the author an expert or reputable scholar in the field? Where was it published? Peer-reviewed journals and academic books are more credible than blogs or opinion pieces. Is the study current? Research findings older than 10 years. May be outdated unless they remain relevant. Example: a 2005 study on online learning may not fully apply today due to technological advancements. B. Evaluate the methodology, sample size, and representation. Was the sample large and diverse enough? Were participants randomly selected or limited to a specific group? Research design. Was it an experiment, survey, case study, or qualitative analysis? Does the method align with the research question? Data collection and analysis. Were valid and reliable tools used, e.g., standardized tests, interviews, or surveys? Were findings statistically or thematically analyzed? Example: a study on student motivation using only 10 participants lacks generalizability compared to a nationwide survey of 5,000 students. C. Identify biases and limitations. The study biased. Did the author have conflicts of interest? E.g., a company-funded study promoting its own product. Did the study acknowledge its limitations? Transparent researchers mention sampling issues, data restrictions, or possible errors. Are results generalizable? If a study was done in a single country or culture, can the findings apply elsewhere? Example: a study on leadership styles in U.S. schools may not fully apply to Asian educational settings due to cultural differences. D. Compare conflicting studies. Does one study contradict another? If so, why? Consider differences in research methods, sample groups, or theoretical perspectives. Acknowledge inconsistencies and offer possible explanations. Example: one study finds social media increases self-esteem, Smith, 2019, while another claims it lowers self-esteem, Lee, 2020. Differences in methodology and sample demographics may explain the contradiction. E. Assess relevance to your study. Does the study directly relate to your research question? Does it provide new insights, or is it redundant? Can its findings be applied to your specific population, context, or problem? Example: a study on urban student stress levels may not be fully relevant to a study on rural students, as environmental factors differ. 3. Example of a critical versus non-critical literature review. Non-critical, weak analysis. Several studies have examined leadership styles in education. Smith, 2018, found that transformational leadership improves student engagement. Lee, 2019, also reported similar findings. Meanwhile, Garcia, 2020, focused on authoritarian leadership and noted lower engagement levels. These studies show that leadership style impacts student success. Why is this weak? Simply summarizes studies without questioning their validity, methodology, or applicability. No mention of sample size, study design, or conflicting findings. Assumes all studies are equally valid without critique. Critical, strong analysis. Smith, 2018, found that transformational leadership improves student engagement based on a survey of 300 high school students. However, Lee, 2019, using qualitative interviews with teachers, reached a similar conclusion, but acknowledged potential observer bias. In contrast, Garcia, 2020, studied authoritarian leadership with a small sample, N50, limiting the generalizability of findings. While all three studies highlight leadership's role in engagement, their methodological differences and sample variations must be considered when applying these insights broadly. Why is this strong? Critically evaluates methodology, sample, size, and biases. Highlights limitations and differences between studies. Provides a balanced perspective rather than blind acceptance. Challenges in being critical and how to overcome them. Challenge solution. Difficulty identifying biases. Check funding sources and author affiliations. Struggling to analyze methods review. Basic research methodologies. Overwhelmed by conflicting studies. Compare sample size, design, and analysis methods. Fear of criticizing experts. Remember, academic debate is necessary for progress. Conclusion: the importance of critical evaluation. In Chapter 2, a strong literature review requires questioning, not just summarizing. Assess credibility, methodology, biases, and applicability. Compare conflicting findings and highlight research gaps. A critical review strengthens the foundation for your own research. By being critical, you elevate the quality of Chapter 2, ensuring that only the most relevant, credible, and well-analyzed studies support your thesis. If you find this content helpful, subscribe to stay updated on the next tips for writing. Chapter 2. Feel free to comment below with topics you'd like us to cover in future content. Thank you.